Hello there, fellow coin enthusiasts and collectors. Welcome back to the channel World Rare Coins, where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins that could be worth a small fortune. From hidden gems that could be worth a fortune to little-known coins with a rich history, we'll explore it all. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of our exciting discoveries. And now grab your magnifying glasses and let's start our today's video. On Top 1 today, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that many overlook, but one that carries a rich history and an incredible value in the right condition, the 1993 United States quarter dollar. If you're someone who's always on the lookout for hidden gems or rare finds in your coin collection, then this video is for you. By the end, we'll uncover just how much this quarter could be worth today. So, stay with us and let's jump right in. The year 1993 marked an important time in the United States. It was a year of transition in many ways. Bill Clinton had just taken office as the 42nd President of the United States, ushering in a new era of political leadership. The country was still recovering from the economic recession that had affected much of the early 1990s. The U.S. Mint, meanwhile, was busy producing millions of coins to meet the needs of a growing economy, and one of those coins was the 1993 quarter dollar. At first glance, the 1993 quarter may not seem particularly special. It's part of the regular series of coins that have featured the same design since 1932, the profile of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. But in the world of numismatics, things aren't always what they seem. Behind the simplicity of this coin lies a wealth of historical and cultural significance that has only grown in importance over time. The design of the 1993 quarter is part of the long-standing tradition that was established with the Washington Quarter series. The obverse, or front, of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This iconic image of Washington, created by John Flanagan in 1932, has remained largely unchanged for decades. Around the portrait, you'll find the inscription Liberty above Washington's head, the year 1993 at the bottom, and the motto "In God We Trust" to the right. The image of Washington has become a symbol not only of the United States but also of the values of liberty and democracy that the country was founded upon. The reverse of the coin features the familiar image of a bald eagle, designed by John Mercani. The eagle, the national bird of the United States, is depicted in flight with an olive branch and arrows in its talons. The eagle represents strength, freedom, and resilience, and this design reflects the nation's enduring ideals. Surrounding the eagle are the words United States of America and the phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, a reminder of the country's unity despite its diversity. In terms of composition, the 1993 quarter, like many modern U.S. coins, is made of a copper-nickel-clad alloy. This material consists of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, and it gives the coin its characteristic appearance and weight. The quarter weighs 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, which is the standard size for the quarter in circulation. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1993 quarter dollar so special in the world of coin collecting. The answer lies in its rarity and condition. As with most circulating coins, the 1993 quarter was produced in large quantities by the U.S. Mint. Billions of these quarters were minted, and most of them went into general circulation, where they were used in everyday transactions and, as a result, became worn and damaged over time. So, if you come across a 1993 quarter, the chances are it's been through countless hands and has been subjected to the wear and tear of daily use. However, as is often the case with coins, the ones that have been preserved in pristine condition are the ones that attract the most attention from collectors. Coins that have been carefully handled, stored, and protected from damage are much rarer and much more valuable. A 1993 quarter that has been kept in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions and has no signs of wear, is considered a prized find. Collectors are especially interested in coins like these because they are becoming increasingly rare. With millions of coins minted each year, it's easy for most coins to become damaged or worn. But those that remain in near-perfect condition are far less common, which makes them more desirable to collectors looking to complete their sets or find coins with higher intrinsic value. But wait, there's more to the story. It's not just the coin's condition that can increase its value. Some 1993 quarters have been found to have unique minting errors, which makes them even more valuable. These errors could range from slight design variations, off-center strikes, or double strikes, to more noticeable flaws such as missing letters or unusual die marks. Collectors go wild for these error coins because they are one-of-a-kind pieces that stand out from the regular minting process. If you happen to have a 1993 quarter with a minting error, you could be holding on to a true rarity. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1993 quarter. While most of these coins in circulation are worth their face value of 25 cents, those that are in excellent, uncirculated condition can fetch a much higher price. A 1993 quarter in perfect condition can be worth significantly more, and if it has a rare minting error or is part of a unique variety, the value can skyrocket. And here's the exciting part. The 1993 quarter in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error can be worth as much as $45,000. Yes, you heard that right, $45,000 for a single quarter. That's the incredible potential this coin holds in the right condition. Of course, not every 1993 quarter is worth that much, but if you happen to find one that has been preserved in pristine condition or features an unusual minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. As with any valuable coin, the key is knowing what to look for. Pay close attention to the condition of the coin, checking for any signs of wear or damage. Look for unique characteristics that could make the coin stand out, such as a minting error or unusual feature. If you do find a 1993 quarter with one of these rarities, it's time to do some research and possibly reach out to a professional coin appraiser or dealer who can help you determine its value. The next time you find yourself sorting through a jar of loose change or browsing through a coin collection, take a second look at any 1993 quarters you come across. It might just be a lucky day for you, as you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. With the right eye for detail and a little bit of luck, that 25-cent coin could be worth $45,000. On top 2, we're diving deep into a coin that may appear humble at first glance, but as we uncover its history, design, and significance, you'll see why this particular quarter has become a sought-after treasure in the world of coin collecting. We're talking about the 1979 United States quarter dollar, a coin that holds more value than most people realize. Stick with us until the end, and we'll reveal its astonishing value, an amount that might just surprise you. To understand the significance of the 1979 quarter, we first need to consider the era in which it was minted. The 1970s were a decade of major social, political, and economic change for the United States. The Vietnam War had ended just a few years earlier, and the country was now grappling with inflation, the oil crisis, and the aftermath of social unrest. The world was changing rapidly, and so was the United States currency system. The 1979 quarter dollar was part of the ongoing shift in American coinage that had begun in the mid-1960s. As the cost of silver continued to rise, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition for circulating coins. By 1979, the quarter, along with other coins, had fully embraced this new, more cost-effective metal alloy. This transition meant that while the 1979 quarter looked similar to earlier versions, its composition was quite different from the silver-filled quarters of the past. Despite this change, the design of the 1979 quarter remained the same as it had been for nearly 50 years. Since 1932, the quarter had featured the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington, as the first president of the United States and a symbol of the nation's founding, was the perfect figure to grace the face of this iconic coin. The design shows Washington's profile, surrounded by the word Liberty and the year 1979, along with the motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse side of the 1979 quarter, we see the familiar eagle design, which had been used on U.S. coins since the 19th century. The eagle is depicted with outstretched wings, clutching an olive branch and arrows in its talons, signifying the dual nature of the United States as both a peaceful nation and a strong one capable of defense. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum are inscribed on the reverse, reinforcing the unity of the nation. While this design was not new in 1979, it remained a powerful symbol of American strength, freedom, and resilience. Now, let's take a closer look at the minting details. In 1979, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The majority of the coins were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and these were distributed to the public. Coins minted in Philadelphia are generally marked with a blank space, while those from the Denver Mint bear a D mint mark. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, which were intended for collectors and were struck with higher precision and quality. One thing to note is that, while the 1979 quarter was minted in large numbers, it wasn't as widely distributed or used in circulation as other quarters, making it an intriguing coin for collectors today. Coins that were used in circulation often show signs of wear and aging, scratches, dings, and fading from repeated handling. However, there are still a few uncirculated examples out there, which, as you may have guessed, are highly prized by collectors. What makes the 1979 quarter dollar so appealing to coin collectors? It all comes down to its rarity, historical context, and potential for mint errors. While the majority of the 1979 quarters are in circulation, a smaller portion was preserved in uncirculated condition. Over the years, these pristine examples have become increasingly difficult to find. Collectors are always on the lookout for well-preserved coins, and the 1979 quarter, in particular, has become a highly desirable piece due to its age and relatively low survival rate in excellent condition. In addition to the coins that have been well kept, there are certain 1979 quarters that feature mint errors, unique, one-of-a-kind imperfections that occurred during the minting process. These errors can include things like double strikes, where the coin is struck twice, misaligned dies, or even blank areas on the coin where it was not properly minted. Mint error coins are highly sought after because they represent anomalies in the minting process, making them rarer and more valuable than their standard counterparts. A 1979 quarter with a mint error can command much higher prices on the market, making it an exciting find for collectors who are lucky enough to discover one. It's also worth noting that the 1979 quarter is a part of a series of quarters minted during a time of significant historical change. As mentioned earlier, the 1970s were marked by economic struggles, social movements, and geopolitical tension, all of which contributed to a unique atmosphere that can be felt even in the coinage of the era. Owning a piece of currency from this period connects collectors to a pivotal moment in American history, making these quarters more than just metal. They are artifacts of a nation undergoing transformation. But how much could the 1979 quarter be worth today? As with any collectible, the value depends heavily on the coin's condition and any unique features it might have. A standard 1979 quarter in circulated condition might only be worth a small premium above its face value of 25 cents, but an uncirculated example or one with a rare minting error can be worth much more. If you happen to find a 1979 quarter that is in pristine, uncirculated condition or features a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $50,000. That's right, this seemingly ordinary quarter has the potential to fetch a substantial sum, especially if it has been carefully preserved or has a unique feature that sets it apart from the rest. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1979 United States quarter dollar offers an exciting opportunity to uncover hidden value. As you can see, even a coin that was once used in everyday transactions can turn into a highly sought-after collectible, especially when it's in great condition or features a minting anomaly. On top 3, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. currency with a coin that might not look like much at first, but as we explore its history, design, and the allure it holds for collectors, you'll soon realize just how valuable it can be. We're talking about the 1983 United States quarter dollar, a coin that's had quite a journey over the years and, as you'll discover, it could be worth much more than its face value. Let's begin by setting the stage. The year 1983 was a pivotal time in the United States. The nation was navigating a range of social and economic challenges. Ronald Reagan had recently been re-elected as president, the Cold War was in full swing, and the economy was transitioning from the effects of the 1970s, inflation and recession. The world was evolving, and so was U.S. currency. In 1983, the United States Mint produced a staggering number of quarters to meet the demand for coins in circulation. By this time, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned from using silver in circulating coinage to a copper-nickel-clad composition, which began in the 1960s. This decision was made to preserve the value of silver, which had become increasingly expensive. The 1983 quarter, like others produced in the early 1980s, was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, making it different from the earlier silver quarters that collectors still highly prize today. But while the metal composition of the 1983 quarter may not have been a groundbreaking change, the coin still holds a significant place in American numismatic history. Let's take a closer look at its design. The obverse of the 1983 quarter, like most quarters since 1932, features the iconic portrait of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, Washington's image has graced the quarter for decades, making it one of the most recognizable features of U.S. coinage. Washington, the first president of the United States and a founding father, represents the ideals of liberty, democracy, and leadership that the country was built upon. His profile is surrounded by the inscription Liberty, the phrase In God We Trust, and the year 1983, which marks the year of minting. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar eagle design, created by John Mercanti. The eagle, as a national symbol, has long been associated with the strength and resilience of the United States. On the quarter's reverse, the eagle is depicted with outstretched wings, holding an olive branch and arrows, signifying peace and defense. The words United States of America and the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, are also featured. Although the design of the 1983 quarter didn't introduce any major changes, it remains significant for collectors. Why? Because coins from this era mark the last years of the traditional quarter design before the introduction of the state quarter program in 1999. This makes the 1983 quarter an important piece for those looking to complete collections from the pre-state quarter era. Now, let's talk about minting details. In 1983, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at 3 different facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Most of the quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, which were made with higher precision and quality for collectors. The 1983 quarter also has an interesting history surrounding its minting errors. Over the years, several varieties of the 1983 quarter have surfaced, particularly coins with minting mistakes that were accidentally produced during the striking process. These errors can include things like double strikes, where the coin is struck more than once, or misaligned dies, which result in off-center coins. While these errors are not common, they have added a layer of excitement and intrigue for collectors. Mint errors are among the most coveted finds in coin collecting. A 1983 quarter with a minting error can be worth significantly more than a standard issue. Some collectors even specialize in searching for coins with these imperfections, as they can be exceedingly rare and valuable. The 1983 quarter is no exception. Coins with unique minting errors can fetch impressive prices at auction, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a rare find. One of the key factors that make the 1983 quarter appealing to collectors is its relative rarity in excellent condition. Like most coins that were minted for circulation, many 1983 quarters were used in day-to-day transactions and have become worn over time. Finding a 1983 quarter in uncirculated condition, free from scratches, dings, or signs of heavy circulation, can be a challenge. But when you do find one in pristine shape, it becomes a much more valuable piece. So, how much could the 1983 quarter be worth today? The value of a 1983 quarter depends heavily on factors such as its condition, minting location, and whether it has any minting errors. A well-preserved 1983 quarter in uncirculated condition could be worth significantly more than its face value of 25 cents, and some of the error coins could fetch much higher prices. But here's the real kicker. If you happen to find a 1983 quarter that is in exceptional condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $47,000. Yes, that's right, $47,000 for a single coin that most people would overlook in their spare change. The 1983 quarter is a perfect example of how a coin that appears ordinary on the surface can become a valuable collector's item when it's well preserved, or when it features a unique flaw that sets it apart from the rest. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, coins like the 1983 quarter provide an exciting opportunity to uncover hidden treasures. On Top 4, we're going to explore a coin that holds a significant place in the history of U.S. currency, especially for those who appreciate the intricacies of minting and the rarity that makes certain coins stand out. We're talking about the 1986 United States quarter dollar, a coin that, while relatively unassuming in appearance, has an intriguing background and an interesting story that may surprise you. To begin, Let's set the scene of 1986. The United States was in the midst of a period of economic change. The 1980s were characterized by growth and recovery from the economic challenges of the 1970s. Ronald Reagan had been re-elected as president in 1984, and his administration was focused on reducing inflation and fostering economic growth. The country was also in the midst of the Cold War, which influenced much of the global political landscape. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins to support the growing economy. The quarter dollar, one of the most commonly used denominations, was minted in large numbers every year. But despite its widespread circulation, the 1986 quarter stands out for a few reasons. The design of the 1986 quarter is consistent with the traditional quarter design that had been in place since 1932. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This design was created by John Flanagan and has graced the U.S. quarter for decades. Washington's image is surrounded by the word liberty, the year of minting, and the phrase, "In God we trust." This iconic depiction of Washington reflects the nation's reverence for its founding father, and his portrait has become one of the most enduring symbols of American coinage. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see an eagle, another enduring symbol of the United States. This design was created by John Mercanti, and it shows the eagle with outstretched wings, clutching an olive branch and arrows. The symbolism of the eagle represents both peace and the country's readiness for defense. The reverse also includes the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, a phrase that captures the unity of the United States. But while the design remained consistent, there's more to the 1986 quarter than meets the eye. The 1986 quarter, like many others produced in the 1980s, was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. This was a shift from earlier years when silver was used in coin production. By the 1960s, silver prices had risen dramatically, and the U.S. Mint transitioned to a more cost-effective copper-nickel alloy for circulating coins. As a result, coins like the 1986 quarter were no longer made from the precious metal that had been associated with the quarter for so long. In terms of its production, the 1986 quarter was minted at 3 different U.S. Mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The vast majority of the quarters were struck in Philadelphia and Denver, but San Francisco produced proof coins that were intended for collectors. Proof coins are struck with higher precision, and their finishes are specially polished to give them a mirror-like quality. These coins were made in limited quantities and are highly sought after by collectors. While the design and minting process may seem straightforward, there's one more factor that adds to the value of the 1986 quarter: its rarity and collector appeal. Most coins minted for general circulation see a fair amount of wear and tear over time. The 1986 quarter was no different. As it passed through the hands of countless individuals, it became worn down, losing much of its original shine and detail. As a result, finding a 1986 quarter in mint or uncirculated condition can be quite difficult. When you do find one, however, it's an exciting discovery for any coin collector. Now, let's dive into why the 1986 quarter is so desirable to collectors. One of the main factors is its relatively low mintage. While the U.S. Mint produced billions of quarters over the years, the 1986 quarter is still considered to be somewhat rarer than others from the same era. This scarcity has made it an appealing option for collectors looking to complete sets of quarters from the 1980s. Moreover, as we'll see in just a moment, certain varieties and conditions of the 1986 quarter can command a much higher price on the market. In particular, collectors are on the lookout for coins that are in excellent condition, specifically those that are graded as MS65 or higher. These coins are considered uncirculated or near perfect, and they stand out from the rest. A coin in this condition is rare because many quarters from this era have been heavily circulated, resulting in scratches, dings, and wear. Coins in near-perfect condition, on the other hand, are much more desirable to collectors, and they can command significantly higher prices than those in average or worn condition. The 1986 quarter has a strong collector base, particularly for those who focus on coins from the 1980s or those seeking out coins with certain unique features. For example, some 1986 quarters have been found to have minting errors, such as double dies or misaligned strikes. These error coins are highly prized in the collecting community, as they are rare and often unique. If you happen to come across a 1986 quarter with one of these errors, it could significantly increase its value. Now, we come to the most exciting part, the value of the 1986 quarter. While most quarters from this year are worth only their face value of 25 cents, a well-preserved 1986 quarter in uncirculated condition can be worth much more. In fact, if you manage to find an exceptional 1986 quarter, particularly one that has been graded at a high level, it could fetch as much as $44,000. Yes, you read that right, $44,000 for a single quarter. This is a testament to the rarity and value that certain coins can have when they're in excellent condition or feature unique characteristics. So, what does this mean for you as a coin collector? If you have a collection of coins from the 1980s, or you've stumbled upon a 1986 quarter in your spare change, take a closer look. It may just be worth far more than you think. As we've seen, finding a coin in mint condition or with a minting error can make all the difference when it comes to value. Keep an eye out for those exceptional specimens, and you could end up with a rare and valuable piece of U.S. history. On Top 5, we're diving deep into the world of American numismatics, focusing on a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but holds an incredible story and value in the realm of collectors. We're talking about the United States 1987 quarter dollar. This coin, often overlooked in everyday circulation, has a fascinating background and is worth far more than you might expect. So stick around to find out just how much it could be worth today. Let's travel back to 1987, a year that sits right in the heart of the 1980s. The U.S. was in the midst of an economic boom following the deep recession that had hit earlier in the decade. President Ronald Reagan was in office, and his policies of economic deregulation and tax cuts were starting to show positive results. The stock market was on the rise, and American consumer confidence was high. But, as we often see, even in prosperous times, small changes in the economy or technology can leave lasting imprints on the currency being produced. The 1987 quarter, like many of its predecessors, was minted as part of the ongoing production of U.S. coinage to meet the needs of the growing economy. The U.S. Mint continued its tradition of producing circulating coins that were both functional and representative of the country's heritage. At the time, the quarter dollar, also known simply as the quarter, was still an important coin in everyday transactions, and billions of them were minted each year. The design of the 1987 quarter remains consistent with the quarter that had been in circulation since 1932, when George Washington's image was first introduced. This design, crafted by John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse, or front side of the coin. Surrounding the portrait is the inscription Liberty, with the year of minting, 1987, and the motto, In God We Trust. Washington's image is one of the most recognizable and enduring representations of American history, and it remains a powerful symbol of the nation's founding principles. On the reverse side of the 1987 quarter, we once again see the familiar depiction of the bald eagle. Designed by John Mercanti, this image features the eagle with its wings outstretched, holding an olive branch and arrows in its talons. The eagle, a national symbol of strength and freedom, is flanked by the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This reverse design captures the unity and resilience of the nation, just as it has on quarters for many decades. In terms of its composition, the 1987 quarter continued to be made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, a material that had replaced silver in U.S. coinage in the 1960s due to rising silver prices. The quarter consists of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, with the appearance of the coin resembling the silver composition of earlier years, but with a much lower production cost. So, what makes the 1987 quarter stand out in the world of coin collecting? The answer lies not just in its design, but in its availability and condition. While the quarter is one of the most commonly used denominations, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is far less common. Like most circulating coins, the 1987 quarter passed through countless hands, and many saw years of wear and tear, resulting in worn details and scuff marks. However, coins that have been well preserved, either through careful handling or by being stored in mint condition, are much rarer and more valuable. Collectors often seek out coins from the 1980s because this period marks the transition from older coin compositions to the modern copper-nickel-clad alloys used in today's coins. Additionally, Some 1987 quarters have been found with unique characteristics, such as minting errors, which further increase their appeal. For example, coins that feature double strikes or other irregularities are highly sought after, as these errors create one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to come across a 1987 quarter with such an error, it could significantly increase the value of the coin. Another factor that contributes to the 1987 quarter's appeal is its relative rarity in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. While billions of quarters were minted that year, most of them were used in daily transactions and have long since been worn down. A quarter from 1987 that has been preserved in a pristine, uncirculated state is a rare find, and collectors are eager to add such specimens to their collections. But what's the real value of the 1987 quarter? For the vast majority of these coins, their value is, of course, 25 cents. However, if you manage to find one that is in exceptional condition or features a unique minting error, the value can soar. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1987 quarter can fetch a price of up to $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single quarter. This is the kind of rare find that coin collectors dream of. The value of the 1987 quarter is primarily driven by its scarcity and top-notch condition. Coins that have survived the decades without significant wear are increasingly rare, and as collectors seek out these exceptional pieces, the prices for high-quality coins continue to rise. Additionally, error coins, those with double strikes, die cracks, or other minting anomalies, can also command higher prices, making the 1987 quarter a coin with a surprising potential for high returns. As a coin collector, this means that you should always take a closer look at any 1987 quarters you come across. Whether you find them in your change or in a box of old coins, it's worth checking the condition and looking for any unusual features. If you're lucky enough to discover a coin with a rare minting error or one that has been well preserved, you could be holding on to a small fortune. So, the next time you come across a 1987 quarter, take a moment to appreciate its history and its potential. It's not just another ordinary coin. It could be a valuable piece of American history. Remember, while most quarters from that year might be worth just their face value, those in excellent condition or with rare minting errors could fetch an impressive sum. With the right eye for detail and a bit of luck, you might just find yourself in possession of a $40,000 coin. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!